I will admit that the Star Wars franchise really seems to be shaping up with Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas at hand, really having creative control over the new books, comics, video games, novels, TV shows, whether it's in animated or a live-action form, and even the new Star Wars trilogy of films and future spin-offs as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney and Lucasfilm, we've gone over this before, is that there is no doubt about it that they are now in a phase of damage control, since they are actually hiring new creatives over at Lucasfilm to actually have creative control over this new Star Wars universe, as well as giving promotions out to many of the other creatives. We're talking about Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau in the works here, with, of course, the Kenobi show, The Mandalorian, the Ahsoka Tano TV series, and so much more to come in the near future, which I honestly am very excited about, and I think a lot of Star Wars fans, at least true fans out there, should absolutely be excited about what's to come on Disney+. So, with that being said, of course, with everything, there's always going to be a handful of TV shows that a lot of fans are not going to agree with. The same exact thing applies to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, of how Kevin Feige is kind of heading in a direction where some of the TV shows are going to be embracing identity politics and, personal agendas, all these crazy things, right? So, with one of the actual TV shows, we went over this not too long ago, is that Kathleen Kennedy is now in charge of 2 TV shows as opposed to 1 like how she was a couple of weeks ago. And the second one is actually said to be an animated TV show similar to Star Wars Rebels, so it'll be in CG form. On top of this, with Disney and Lucasfilm now fully invested in their new Star Wars trilogy of films, and even the new Star Wars universe in general that is being worked on by FFL, they are dedicated to reuniting the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, it's explained that they have over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects in the early development phase already, and that this is said to just be the beginning. However, recently Kathleen Kennedy got approval to work on a second Star Wars TV series for Disney Plus in animated form, and that Kathleen Kennedy recently chose Leslye Headland to become a writer of the animated TV series as well, apart from her live-action one for Disney Plus. This was said to have been the agreement for a couple of days now, until creator George Lucas came in and made some significant demands that Leslye Headland would only work on 1 Star Wars TV show as opposed to 2. Lucas is said to have cancelled Leslye Headland from working on the second Star Wars TV show for Disney Plus that is actually going to focus on identity politics and personal agendas over story. Now, this plan by Lucas is to ensure that there are actually no 2 Star Wars TV shows in a row that serve as a failure in a row on Disney Plus, and that Lucas is said to have control now over who will actually serve as a writer or a director of the new Star Wars TV series. So let's not forget that George Lucas still has a major hand here in exactly who's going to take control over some of the TV shows that Kathleen Kennedy is involved in. That, of course, is the live action and, of course, the animated TV series. Now, however, Kennedy is said to still have creative control as we speak for the new TV series that will be in animated form, similar to Star Wars Rebels. So it's going to have a similar animation style to Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars, which honestly, like I've said before in the past, I think that is a big deal. It's going to tell us that it could very well be, like I say, this could very well be the Clone Wars sequel series, or even the one with the new timeline that will be introduced at that. The new series is set to actually begin production sometime in 2021, and will release around a year later after that. And of course, that Disney Plus actually has a plan to eventually release 3 Star Wars TV shows a year after 2021 arrives. So, does that sound like it's a little overcrowded for you guys? Does that sound like it might become a frequency issue of having 3 Star Wars TV shows a year aside from the actual Star Wars movies? I, however, have no issue with that at all, because look at Marvel. Marvel embraces having multiple movies a year alongside with TV shows, and I have no problem with that. I think it's a really good direction here, and I think that the more Star Wars, the better, as long as it's full of quality, right? As long as they are pushing content that has quality to it, where it actually focuses on story and character development, If it actually embraces that, then and only then, I think you can really fulfill having a plan in place to release so much Star Wars material. But if they're just going to release material that's kind of mindless and soulless, that's where fans, I think, are going to have fatigue, Star Wars fatigue, right? Bob Iger blamed this on the box office results of Solo: A Star Wars Story, which really wasn't the case. Obviously, that was connected to The Last Jedi and how so many fans had issues with that movie by director Rian Johnson. So, you know, like I've said before in the past, things really are shaping up except for a handful of Star Wars TV shows that Kennedy is actually working on. And with that being said, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.